This is the best electric skateboard that you can get right now. Backfire Zealot X is here and is one of the best electric longboards on the market. Coming at only $1,199, it's going to be very appealing for a lot of you. First of all, that 34 miles of range. Second of all, that 31 mile an hour top speed. The new Samsung batteries, new 1,500 watt motors. There's two of these things in this skateboard and it's honestly mental. You get so much traction and so much torque. Another thing, the wheels are 96 millimeters, which are brand new wheels. They're a brand new style and they're so nice to ride on. The trucks, they are 8.1 inches and they are CNC metal trucks. They are honestly absolutely amazing, and you wouldn't be able to tell that these are stock. How can you forget these lights? They are one of the main selling points of this Eboard. It is one of the best lighting systems that is equipped to any skateboard that I have ever seen. It's honestly one of the big selling features of this board, and the fact that it goes all the way around in the deck adds to it. And how can we forget this brand new ESC, which can obviously take 58.8 volts in, which is going to keep you absolutely fine if you're doing any mods to your Eboard. This deck is really nice and it's got glass fibre in to make sure that you get a nice comforting ride, obviously with maple wood as well. It also has a 35% incline, which I know from experience has always been absolutely fine, and you do not notice any drop off on speed. So Backfire with this Eboard do include a 365-day warranty, which is really appealing compared to the other boards which only include 180 days. It is honestly a massive godsend, because this means that you're going to be able to get parts from them 365 days after you've bought this board. Now, I know from personal experience their customer support is absolutely amazing, and compared to other skateboard companies, they are always on top of it. They always make sure that you have parts, they always make sure that they get them to you quickly, and they are honestly a really reliable company for their customer service. How can we forget this brand new remote on this Eboard? This remote is honestly one of the best that is on the market, and you will not find anything else like this. Compared to the old skateboard remotes that they used to have on these Eboards, they've honestly improved it so much. Coming in with a 1-inch screen, honestly, you can see your speed, your remote battery, and your board battery from a quick glance. It is honestly absolutely amazing. Also, we have 3 functions on this remote. We have Turbo, we have Sports, and we have Eco. All of these different things can be adjusted in the settings as well. So if you're in Eco, this is going to take a nice, easy, slow approach. You're going to be using less of the battery, trying to keep as eco-friendly as possible, basically, on your battery so that you don't run out of range as quick. So you can adjust how the acceleration is, the braking, and the top speed. So all you have to do is go into the settings on the remote and adjust which category. These are all individually adjustable, and you don't have to connect it to an app, which is absolutely amazing. Honestly, compared to other electric skateboard companies, they need to start doing this, because being able to do everything on the remote without having to get your phone out is honestly so convenient. One of the big main selling points of this remote is that it has a fingerprint sensor. Now, this fingerprint sensor can be pretty hit or miss. I mean, if you want this and you're going to use it, I personally do use it, but it can be very temperamental, and sometimes if you just want to go and you have to put your fingerprint every time, it can be very inconvenient. One of the main use cases I find is very good for this is that if you go into a shop and you put your fingerprint on, you don't have to worry about you accidentally flicking the remote, accidentally breaking it in your pocket. So it's perfect. It is honestly one of the best remotes I've had from this company. A nice plastic back and a solid aluminium front. I have taken heavy falls on this remote and the screen has still not cracked, because I know that was one massive concern for me, was that if I fell on this remote, it's just going to break. This remote is not fragile in the least, and honestly, you'll be very surprised. One thing that they don't mention though is that the scroll wheel that you use to adjust the speed and the braking honestly feels so much better. It's heavy, it's premium, the spring is amazing, and honestly, you will notice these differences. If you have come from a Zealot S like me, or any other type of Backfire boards, you will notice this premium quality remote. It is one of the best I've ever tried. There is a reverse switch on this thing, so if you ever need to reverse, you can just flick into reverse and you don't have to worry. Unlike other skateboard manufacturers where you just have it without having to flip the switch, this can be very convenient that you don't have to worry about flying back when you're braking. It can obviously turn on without having to turn on the board, so you can turn on your remote and it will turn on the board for you. This has been introduced since the Zealot S, and it is honestly one of the best, most convenient features of them all. Obviously this, after 24 hours of the board being inactive, you will have to press it on by the button, but I think that's pretty understandable. This board is absolutely amazing and packed full of tech. One thing they have up there is the design with how they connect the motors to the trucks. Before, this used to be cast straight onto the trucks. There was no adjustable trucks, there was nothing. Whereas now, you have to unscrew bolts if you want to unscrew it from the trucks. So the motors and the trucks are now separate, which is such a massive, massive plus. Because I've personally had so many issues with this Zealot where the trucks are snapped and you can't screw them back on. So this is honestly one of the best things, and this skateboard being more modular adds 10 times more feature. One thing they've also updated is the new design to the motor connected to the ESC. This, instead of just being a straight plug-in and them super gluing it together and making sure that they don't come apart, it is now a screw mechanism. So you screw it in and you unscrew it if you want to take it out. Now there is an issue with this skateboard being more modular, is that if you live in more bumpy areas like me, these things do come loose very quickly, like very quickly. The connectors that connect the motor to the ESC have also become loose before and have come off whilst they've been running fast, which can cause massive jolts and possible falling off. Now, where this is a long time review, I am gonna obviously have to say to you some of the issues that I've come up against with the Zealot X. Now, I've only had this for 2 months so far, so I do want to make sure that everyone understands that I do have experience with these. I have been riding Backfire boards for 3 years now, and I've had a G2, I've had a Zealot S, and I've had a Zealot X. I've had from the beginning all the way upwards, so I know what these skateboards are capable of, and I know how durable they've been in the past. Now, to start, the main thing we see here is that after just 2 weeks of ownership of this board, I was already encountering issues, which is absolutely mental. I've never had that before with a skateboard. So what happened is the connector that connects the ESC to the motor came loose, and then I didn't know how to screw it back on. I was trying my best to screw it back on, but it wouldn't go in because, well, I basically was in the middle of nowhere with no toolkit, no nothing, and I had to just use my pure strength, which can sometimes be pretty difficult when you've just been on a ride and you're tired and you just want to get home. So the way that I had to fix this is once I got home, I screwed it all in and made sure it was all okay. And then once I did that, I had to super glue it, I had to put tape around it so that this did not come unscrewed again, because this happened on both sides, which is very concerning considering I only did 100 miles in it and it was already doing this. It did concern me a little, but other than that, since I've kind of done my DIY solution, it has been absolutely fine. Another issue I've also encountered is the new truck connection, where they connect the truck and the motor together. That has also come loose as well, which is very dangerous, and where it wobbled, it would sometimes set the motor off balance, which then would throw me off. I've had 3 bad falls in this thing just where that's happened, and it's honestly such an inconvenience. But obviously there is also good things. This board range is absolutely insane, and compared to all the other skateboard companies, this is mental. The top speed and the range actually hold up. Like, it will go 32 miles an hour at maximum. It will go the range. I've done 15 miles on this Eboard going full speed the whole way with still battery left over, about 25%. That is mental. And if you're being efficient, you can get the full range out of this thing. This board is no joke, and honestly, it is one of the biggest considerations that you should make if you're looking for an Eboard, because of the lights as well. These lights are honestly mental. You see me coming from miles away. Like, you can see this board. You don't have to worry about riding at night. People will be able to see you. So overall, would I recommend this Eboard? I would absolutely recommend this. This board is honestly one of the best skateboards you can find on the market. And for the price, it is honestly amazing. You won't find a board that has all of these features. You won't find the board that has the lights, has the speed, has the range, has the comfortability of riding straight out the box. One thing I would recommend is when you get this board, that you tighten all the bolts and make sure that every single bolt is tightened, because it can come out the box a bit loose. So you just got to make sure that you're tightening all of your bolts, making sure that you're checking over before every ride, just to make sure that you're going to be safe when you're out there. But other than that, I would hands down recommend the Zealot X as one of the best skateboards you can buy on the market for this price point. Thanks for watching, subscribe, like. It's been Harry, I'm out.